talk about here. Let's do that. Joining us is former Manhattan prosecutor Jeremy Saland. It's good to see you, Jeremy. John laid it out really well. How much of a problem and how much trouble is this secret Twitter account and what we know Chesbrough had said in depositions?
I think it's very, very serious. In fact, when you're a prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney, you tell that person walking into what we call a queen for a day, this agreement, you are truthful, you are honest, because what you say here can potentially be used against you. And if you lie, it will. And take separate from that, if you are cooperating in a formal agreement and you have to be upfront and disclose and you fail to do so, within the four corners of that agreement, it can set a path to what you will find yourself or where you will find yourself for that mess up.
And what about, I mean, there are tentacles, you know, Chesbrough is, if not charged, he is talked about in more than one investigation, right? You've Absolutely. Got the Michigan fake elector scheme. He was charged and then reached a plea deal with regard to the Georgia election scheme. He is an unindicted co-conspirator in the federal election subversion case. Does it matter where he said it? If he wasn't truthful about a secret Twitter account in one place, does it impact the others?
It absolutely does and can. And we know from Georgia, one of the parts of that cooperation was he was going to or needed to be truthful and cooperate with Michigan. And he's now clearly not done that. So setting aside the exposure he has and that sort of that regret he potentially can have, he has his credibility is now in question. It's really, really serious for the cases that he's involved in and for him in terms of his liability.
I want to get your take on some of the statements by Chesbrough's attorneys when approached by CNN about what they found. Chesbrough's lawyer describes the secret account, quote, as his random stream of consciousness where he was spitballing theories about the election, but insisted it was separate from his legal work with the Trump campaign. Chesbrough's attorney acknowledged in an interview with CNN that, quote, there's clearly a conflict between some of his tweets and what he told Michigan prosecutors, and that some of the elector theories he embraced online were inconsistent with his subsequent legal advice to the Trump campaign. And wait, there's more. And then there's also this, quote, we should have asked for clarity, and that was our screw up, Chesbrough's attorney told CNN about him denying to Michigan prosecutors that he used Twitter. What do you think of that?
I think as a criminal defense attorney now, I say what I need to say to help my client, and you need to fix mistakes. I think that you take that with a grain of salt. It doesn't hold water. It is a colander with lots of holes. He was asked a very specific question, and he denied using social media. He denied the Twitter account or just using the tweeting. This is problematic, and it's substantive too, because it's the fake electors plot. We can use the courts. Oh no, we can't use the courts. We'll use the state legislature.
I'm going to lean really quickly as a former Manhattan prosecutor on what Manhattan prosecutors are asking for today. This gag order request in the hush money trial for Donald Trump. What do you think of that request?
I think it's tailored in a way that says what we know, which is we know that the former president attacks witnesses. We know that there's jurors who can be vulnerable. We know that there's court staff that can be vulnerable and prosecutors. I think it's a right move, and I think the court should grant that in a limited scope.
How long do you think that trial is going to be?
It could take a good month longer. I mean, it could be a long time because there's 34 counts and it's monotonous going through all this and the cross-examination. But we're not talking days or weeks. We're talking multiple weeks.
Let us see what happens. Thank you so much, Jeremy. It's good to see you.
You as well.